Yeah, when everybody can hear the actual story. So we're on, man. We're live.
Oh,
that's it. Here we are.
That's it.
Man.
This is how we do it, baby.
This is awesome.
So we got Marco Rivera in the house. Super pumped.
Episode 10, the big one.
Oh, this is 10. I'm number
This is
10.
10. You're number 10.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
We were gonna have balloons and everything. But
Well, you guys listening, we do.
yeah. For everybody listening, for anybody watching, don't tell the listeners.
Word, right?
But yeah, I'm gonna have John kick this off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, welcome to another episode of The Voice
And Rizzles. Today in studio, in the office, our studio.
in the mansion.
The man, the myth, the legend, Marco Rivera.
Oh man, what's up, guys? Pleasure to be here. Excited to be here. We've been working on this for a minute.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we had the MD video shoot, and I told you, I said, listen, we got the podcast kicking off soon, and we'd love to have you on because I know not only have you had some pretty crazy experiences through life and the sport, but you're just easily, anybody I talk to, you're easily one of the best people I've had the pleasure of interacting with. And I know John said that he only sees you in passing at Bev's, but it's always been good vibes from you. And that's just what you project. So
Humbled. I'm humbled, man.
Oh,
you know, it's not something I try to be or think about in becoming. It's just my characters. You know, life has been a seesaw for me, and it's taught me many things. And we, you know, fortunately, we're able to sit here today and talk about some amazing times as well as some bad times. But how all of it comes together in full circle and makes you know, creates an ultimate design, forged, I like to say, okay, forged. And that's what we try to represent every single day. That you know, we live this world of bodybuilding, man. This lifestyle of health and fitness and amazing people. You know, being nice is just how I like to be, man. Is what I hope to get back. So I work really hard in you know, in creating a certain type of environment. So I tend to initiate. Listen, man, things are good here. So like that, everybody's on the same page. It's just the way I like to roll.
good vibes only.
He's going to be a good dude. You know, I read a quote from Gandhi one day. Instagram said it was from Gandhi. It said, "Don't be a dick." one of those beautiful things I've ever read. That was it.
It's a beautiful life lesson, and it's a beautiful way to be, man.
Yeah.
Similar to what we did with MD, it was great to hear you speak about your life, and I know you opened up to a lot of things to me and to the world. But unfortunately, with a video like that, there's only so much I can keep in because it's timed, and realistically, our conversations in studio, what we tell people on a podcast is they could go on for 20 minutes, they can go on for 50 hours. It doesn't really matter to me, as long as you get to say everything that you want to say. That's the biggest thing to me.
Gotcha.
So I'd like, for anybody that doesn't know you, I'd like to hear how you kicked it off and got started in the bodybuilding world.
Wow. Yeah, that's like looking up at the
early
space
days.
and picking one of the stars.
Which one we hitting today?
Nah, it's, you know, it's actually my story is very common, man. You know, we started out early here, living in the Bronx. Typical Hispanic family, mom, dad, basic welfare, you know, coming up in the Bronx. It was you know, the times of graffiti and gangs. What was that movie called? When they had all the separate gangs.
Gangs in New York.
Yeah, no, not gangs.
Like the
in
old
New
school
York.
one.
It was a more recent one where they showed it was basically made in New York. I just can't remember the name. Anyway, it was a gang movie that was the era I came up in, and damn, I gotta remember the name of that. See?
Well, who was in it? Who's in it? I'll Google it right now.
We'll figure it out.
It's a '70s movie. It's an old one where the quote goes, "Come out and play."
Oh, oh God. I got you.
Got it. Well, anyway, that's the time time frame that I can pretty much remember to start my life in, and you know, ultimately life was good. I have, you know, I got three sisters, 2 sisters, and 3 brothers. Excuse me for not remembering that. Yeah, Warriors. There we go. That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it. The trains, the graffiti, the gangs. That's pretty much how I remember starting. My memories go as far as back in living here in New York. But typical family, you know, school. Once we got into the teens, man, that's where things started getting a little bit different. The crack epidemic came in. Laws started to change. Money started to change. Everybody, if there was always somebody in the group that was probably a drug dealer or had something that was just going on that they shouldn't have been going on. And it became custom. You know, it became custom, and it's what people eventually knew, and that's how they grew up. And, you know, that's why nobody really hated the local drug dealer. People actually looked up to them because things were comfortable in the area when at that time.
And they were the ones making money.
They were the ones making money. They were the ones taking care of the neighborhood at the same time. So it was, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time because the streets were they taught you a lot. You know, you had to be prepared at any given time, living in the Bronx. But all in all, man, I remember also Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, growing up, watching baseball, playing a lot of baseball as a kid. I was always very, very active. Martial arts, baseball, swimming, boxing. Like we just kind of just did so many ththings.
Always
getting
doing
involved,
something.
you know, and it was always, a lot of it was just inspired by a movie. You saw a great movie, you went and did the exact same thing. You saw a karate movie. It's not just me that wanted to be a full-out ninja.
The Karate
when all these
Kid.
ninja movies were coming out, you know. So I was
Rocky.
that kid, man. I got inspired by movies and incredible things. But unfortunately, you know, life always kept the family in a bit of a box, and so my family moved around a lot. So from New York, we moved out to Chicago for a couple of years, and Chicago is probably the defining point to my life in terms of things not going so well. Unfortunately, I landed in an area at that time, coming from New York. I knew nothing about Chicago, so I was thrown into the lion's den blindly. And as my first instinct was, how do I get out of this? So, you know, that's where the gang and all that type of activity started, and eventually getting in trouble for the very first time. All right, and it was a very traumatic experience. It was early in life, only 14 years old, so already kind of seeing behind bars at such an early age. And for, you know, my family, how they handled things was just moving back and forth. So the next step was just to move out to Puerto Rico now. So now we're in Puerto Rico. Now I went from New York to Chicago to Puerto Rico. All these different cultures, man. How people live and how, you know, when you go to a different state, people just move differently. They have their own style, their own thing. And Puerto Rico was a complete contrast because everything's in Spanish now. I had to get used to the speaking, the language.
Were you speaking Spanish at home already?
I understood it. I wasn't sharp, but we had to adapt really fast.
Yeah.
And so we did. And my family relocated to Puerto Rico, and that's where we spent a big portion of my youth. And it was a beautiful one. It really was. It was a beautiful one, and that's where the family setting really came in, because there wasn't much you can do by yourself or want to do by yourself. It was either I did it for my mom, for my dad, for my sisters. Everybody took care of everybody. And Puerto Rico was really, because of the culture, it made us come together a lot more. But I was very ambitious. I was very ambitious. My mind was growing a lot faster than my body. And I wanted to come back to New York. And so we did. And when we came back to New York was very different from how I left it. You know, the drugs were more. Crime was at an all-time high. The streets were very, very different. So once again, we had to adapt. And in the process of that, man, you just get caught up in the streets again, and before you know it, you're serving time behind bars. You get, you you think you have the world on your shoulders, you think you have the master plan, you think you have the best of friends. And the reality is that that's not the case, in my opinion, for nobody. You know, I believe every screw, every wrench has this amount of pressure that you can put on before it'll fucking break. And that I learned that the hard way, okay? Because I was always an individual that gave my heart, my soul. And that was one of my failures. That was the reason why, you know, I ended up in a lot of situations that I didn't necessarily have to be in. But all in all, we're here.
Yeah.
We're here, and that's the reason why we're talking about this, because we're here. We're able to, you know, to tell the stories, tell the experiences, and hopefully get the public, especially the young public today, to be able to understand certain things. And if us here today can kind of forecast that for anybody, and help make a certain direction in your life, man, please take this advice and share it. And really think about it, because I'm letting you know this not from a book. This is all from real life story, man. This happened to me, and it's not gonna stop, And one thing you do have control of is your choices. Choices is everything. That's the one thing that God has given us. That's powerful, but it's also the worst thing you can have. You know, he doesn't create the rights and the wrongs or open up the paths or the roads. I refuse to believe in things that I don't have control of. But I know that one thing for certain that we all have is a choice. And which ones you choose to exercise are based on what you believe in and what is it you love. So if you love the streets, guess what, man? That's exactly where you're going to leave it at. I'm going to let you know right now, your boys and your neighborhood or your set, your colors, whatever it may be, that's only temporary, man. Before you know it, the only thing you're gonna wish you was doing is being home with your wife, or being next to your mom, or being next to your kids. That's the only thing that matters. And you don't have to let life drill you for you to understand that and make some right choices and get yourself on your feet and move on. Because being a G today is, I don't know, man. I don't know how it got boomeranged so bad. It's definitely bent, what that means. And the real G's, you don't see them no more because they're too smart to be running around in the bullshit like that. And you don't see them no more. So all these young cats are just running around, you know, going through life fearlessly. And I kind of get it to a certain degree, but I believe the level of morality has changed. You know, I remember guys sold drugs back then, but that was to give their family everything. They did wrong things, but it was to give their peoples and their family everything. Now it's not even for that. Now they just want everything. They want to take everything. They want to spend everything, and it's all about them. And that's where I noticed that we're heading into a direction that's getting really bad. But you know, that's my story. And like I said, if there's any way possible that what I say here today can help you understand or have a different perspective from your hustle or from what can possibly take you away from the most important thing in your life, then so be it, please. You know? Yeah.
I know John probably wants to touch on something.
Yeah. So to all the kids that are listening right now that are unsure, you know, if they're running on the streets or whatever, I want to backtrack to you in Chicago. When you first got put behind bars, what the hell was going through your mind at 14 years old?
I was in shock. I couldn't believe it was like a really bad nightmare that was happening at that time, at the moment. You know, it was so cold. All you wanted was your parents. That's all you wanted. You just wanted to be next to your parents. It's amazing that when you go through something traumatic, you don't think about the big things, homie. You think about all the little things that surround you. I say that again. You don't think about the big things. You think about the little things that surround you every single day now that most of us take for granted. That's exactly what you think about when shit really hits the fan. And you know, when that happened, man, and they brought me into that cell, and you see all these kids and you see all these races, and also you see all the different gangs that you're completely against in the streets, and now you over here coinciding in the same place. And most importantly, even at a young age, knowing, I felt like, what the fuck did I just do in my life? I just did something to my life, and it's not good. It just changed my whole perception and all my ideas that I had initially before getting in trouble. It literally all went down the drain when that happened. And then, you know, it's embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't show it, you don't talk about it, but the reality is that if you're half a decent person, you're embarrassed, man. You're coming out in this jumpsuit, and it's just your mom is like hacking away in tears. You can't believe that you got your family feeling like this. But, you know, it wasn't, it was a time where I just felt I had control of everything.
Yeah, you know, all these kids, they think nothing bad's ever going to happen to them, and, you know, oh, I see that family going through poverty or whatever, but it's not going to happen to me. Oh. This person's addicted to drugs, but I'll try it once, I'll be okay. You know, all these kids think they're invincible, but the reality is we're all on the same playing field here.
Poverty, diseases, anything addiction, anything bad can happen to anybody. It has no race, no creed. It doesn't have any. It can happen to anybody. It can hit anybody. You could be the wealthiest family in the world, and somebody could lose their job, lose everything that they have, and they could be right back down at square one on a totem pole. So it can happen to anybody, and it's a humbling thought to have.
Yeah,
it happened to me, and it happened to my brother. It's happened. It's been in my family for many, many years, and this is why I sit here and tell you that. It can happen to anybody at any given time. And again, we exercise choices, man, and our choices are usually based off of how we're feeling at that time. So when that thing usually meets you, it meets you at a time where you think it's okay. And that's the initial mistake. You think it's okay. And you start for simple reasons. Before you know it, you're fully invested, and you've exercised your way completely out of who you were. Whatever you respected, who you would never steal from, things that you swore or could never imagine yourself doing, you end up doing.
And you lose your mental clarity.
And you're scarred, you're bent. You will never become the same person again. And not many people have the support, nor the family, nor the resources to be able to get out of that hole. And that's why we're at a time now, man, where it's just getting bad. And it's because it's the culture that's being passed on. It's being passed on. And people think that I can go harder now. That it just doesn't make any sense. For example, there's cameras everywhere. But crime that you see on TV every single day, you ask yourself, like, well, what was you thinking? You think you wasn't gonna get caught? You looked right dead into the camera. You knew it was there to begin with. It just doesn't.
You even threw up a peace sign, like,
dude. Extreme people are in an all-time extreme mode, and these drugs. You got these young, you know, young groups of people now. You got these famous rappers now that exercise and talk about Percocets and lean juice and all this other stuff. Dude, do you know what that stuff does to you?
Melts your fucking brain.
Yeah.
Come on.
Go listen to
But the best of the best are the ones that are promoting this stuff, and these kids are hanging out, and this is what they're doing, man. Painkillers. Their choice of drug, just to feel good for a couple hours in a club or whatever setting they may be, is to numb their bodies to the point that they don't even know what's happening to them. You know, I remember it was about a 40 ounce and maybe you smoke a joint. That was the worst thing you did. And that was like you had to hide on top of an abandoned building. Mom could not catch you doing that. And to see what people are doing now, man.
Plain sight.
It's okay. It's okay.
The balls, plain sight, and like nothing. Like they're not. Like it should just be glorified.
Well, they think it's glorified
because of the rapping, because of the music.
Exactly. People need better role models.
You know,
simple as that.
You know, I went out with a chick one time. Real quick, I went out with a chick one time. We're mini golfing. I'm not gonna lie, it was our first date. We're mini golfing, and we're just talking back and forth, and just trying to get to know her, trying to get a feel for her, and like she starts talking about party drugs. And I'm just like, I'm so turned off now. I'm so turned off. And all of a sudden she's just like, yeah, you know, I said, well, what have you done? She goes, oh, you know, every show I go, every couple of what do they call them? The EDM concerts, but what do they call them? They call them
headaches.
Yeah. No, there's a word for it. There's like a set word, whatever it is, whatever they call festival. Oh, that makes me super uncomfortable. Festival. So she goes, yeah, when I go to the festivals, you know, I'll take Molly and stuff like that. And I went to her, I said, listen. I said, listen.
Listen, French fry.
Listen here. I'm not a doctor. I went and I got my public relations degree. But I'm pretty sure that stuff puts holes in your brain. She's like, well, I only did it for like 3 years. Yeah. 3 fucking years? Yeah. What are you talking about? That's long.
Your urine's probably dirty right now.
Oh my God, there's like fucking...
It's such a big hole in there. You could have thrown one of those golf balls right in there. It would have landed.
Would have rolled right at the other side. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's a weird culture. I never understood it. You know, I talk to people all the time, and they embrace... I got to go to this show, and when I'm rolling, it's when I feel my most alive. And I'm like, do you really need to be that numb from life? Like, are you that miserable on a daily basis that you think that you need to be that, you numb yourself to that point where you're just not even there?
And you know what? That's the problem in this day. People is almost like they're trying their very best to lose control as opposed to gain it. You know, and if they just emphasize a lot of that energy and that level of excitement into just them having control, dude, we'll be having better athletes, we'll be having more doctors, more scientists, but it's really spiraling down. Like and through my neighborhoods, you see it every day, and I would probably estimate at least once a week, I run into a person who I would have never thought was getting high. You find out that they're getting high. And this is like a new person and a new person and a new person. So, you know, I'm just here. I guess the message that I would like to get out, man, is it can change. It can change. You gotta want it. You gotta be willing to do the work. It doesn't matter how many years or what level is it you've invested yourself in putting poison in your body or doing the wrong thing. Whatever is it that's keeping you down, I'm telling you that you can change it. It's a mindset process. You know, it takes some work, but just like anything that was good in your life, it required some work. It wasn't handed to you. It wasn't given to you. Everything bad in your life walked right in without nobody's help. That's how easy it comes in. But the good things, they require a lot of work, man. But when you get them done, they supersede every bad thing. You can't give up on yourself. The world, we're living in a time right now that if you don't want it, that's it. You're left to the dust, homie. People ain't got no time. People gonna push you over to the side. Ain't nobody gonna be carrying you. Ain't nobody gonna be worried about your situation if you're not willing to do the work.
No handouts.
Mm-hmm. There's no people are just those people like that don't exist no more. The I help you people, they're not around no more. They got burnt out. They just can't do it no more. And this new generation, it's like they just want to point fingers and not take responsibility for nothing. And you know, it's because of the culture. It's still it needs to be broken, man. And I'm just here to express to everybody that feels or has any difficulty in being able to get that done. All I'm saying is just stay consistent and stay doing the work. You're gonna get there. You don't see how close is it you get. Okay, there's no level that lets you see how close is it you getting to where you got to go. Sometimes it may take a little bit, sometimes it's going to take a lot. Either way, you got to keep digging, man. That's just the way it goes, because if not, the story's going to be over. Mm-hmm. And once it's over, there's no coming back. We don't have carburetors, man. We don't have brake discs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Once it's done, it's done. And I'm a person. I think about these things firmly every single day, and it's what allows me to stay focused. It allows me to love my family 10 times harder. You know, that's the most important thing for me now, is making sure that I bring my girls up, that I love my wife as hard as I possibly can, and try to help out as many people, man, because that in itself helps me as well.
Yeah.
So don't ever think that I'm just, no, I get a lot out of being able to help anybody else out, because it keeps me in check. It keeps me alive. It keeps me really centered in what's going on today, man. And at the end of the day, I give a shit. I sincerely give a shit, because people have given a shit about me. People have done that. People have cared for me.
Yeah.
You know, when they didn't have to. And those are things that you just can't, you can't disregard them, man. You can't disregard them, you know. And if I can make a change, it doesn't matter where you come from, you know, what language, or no, take the next man standing next to you. Okay, he's probably the same color, same language. Take that boy next to you and straighten him out. Talk to him, man. Show them a little positivity. Don't put a fucking iPad in their face.
Yeah, dude, that drives me fucking nuts. How the parents
we're raising psychos, man.
Yeah,
we're raising little psychomaniacs that are gonna be hanging out in the future. That's what we're doing.
They just stick an iPad in them and they just sit in the corner like
no,
zombies.
Man, no,
watch YouTube.
No. Let's go play a basketball game. Let's go play a little softball. Let's go swimming.
Stickball.
Let's do something.
Just speak to another human.
Yeah, get the fuck outside.
That's it.
Dude,
have a conversation.
Man, you couldn't be so more right, man.
Have a conversation. Doesn't involve an emoji. Hey, how you been?
Yo, don't talk shit about my emojis.
I love
my poop emoji.
I love emojis.
And when my friends are wiling out, I put the little skull. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Nick, when there's a podcast where we have a conversation for about 3 hours, a couple times every week, I'm gonna go off the limb here and say you can talk to somebody. That's not your problem.
Yes, I can talk to everybody.
I think we're good. Marco's good.
Yeah, you can bring this closer here. Yeah, if you want to bring it closer, and then you're good.
It's crazy, you know. People are afraid. People are afraid to do the work. They look at, take bodybuilding as a perfect example. They look at, say, the top guys in the world and say, "Oh, geez, that's going to take a while to get there," and they decide maybe it's not for me. When they're 18 years old, the time's going to pass anyway. You're either going to be working toward your dreams or dicking around, wasting your time doing something else. And always ask yourself, you know, what if? A lot of the people in my generation, you know, they're afraid to put in the work. They'd rather get the instant gratification from, oh, let me pop a molly, than what really working on their goals will do for them. You know, when you achieve a goal, you feel fucking great. It's the best high in the world. And that, what people understand is that compounds. You do this, and then that leads into this, that leads into this, and 10 other things. You realize you got your hands full with things you love to do. Yeah. Compared to wasting your time, wasting your parents' money, and wasting your health for instant gratification, which is going to get you nowhere, but, you know, fucked later on in life.
Physical and mental deterioration.
That's it.
And essentially, I mean, you're talking about achievements. One of my favorite thing I heard you say, well, one of the favorite, there was so much. That interview was fantastic that you were just talking, man, on the whim, and it was amazing to listen to and to watch the passion and emotion that you have come out. You know, many people have come up to me and say, "When's it dropping? When's it dropping?" I'm like, dude, it was powerful listening to Marco speak, and I loved you talking about getting your pro card and the battle and how you felt and the emotions going up to that show and what was going down. So,
2011, baby, I'm
Bronx bad boy.
I'm get that number tattooed on me.
You got it.
Wow, that was one of my favorite shows ever. You know, competitions that I've done. It was well, previously to that, on 2010, we did the nationals in North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina. It was in one of the Carolinas.
Okay.
And we took 6th place in a group of really, really big names, a lot of great guys, and after 2010 is when I told myself, I said, because I wasn't expecting to get that close. Quite honestly, I really wasn't. I went in there that open-minded that whatever happened happened, and not realizing that I was in the mix early at that time, which, you know, everybody was a name coming in the nationals.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very different. It wasn't that much long ago, but that's whole nother thing that's kind of changing. And
with how many?
We're gonna get to that piece. We're gonna get to that piece. In 2011, that's I came out. I remember coming out for prejudging. I remember being in the back of the line. I don't know why I've always gotten like the last numbers. I hate that shit. because you're the last guy to pose, and then you're coming out for comparisons literally right after that. So you're still tired from the first couple minutes, seconds you was up there. Anyway, so I'm looking down the hallway, man, and I'm looking at all these guys I'm about to jump on stage with, and I'm feeling like the smallest guy in the room now. You know, mind starts playing a little bit of tricks on you, man. But one thing about me, the competitiveness, I've always transitioned a lot of that energy into a, you know, a bit of seriousness, like a little
bit of rage.
I try to avoid that word, especially.
I'll say it.
But yeah, that's, you know, you start getting this emotion, and you start kind of getting upset. You know, because I've always told people, and I believe this tremendously, that when you're mad, you're not nervous.
Makes sense.
When you're mad, you're not nervous. So I always try to kind of get a little bit upset, because being upset, I felt I had more control than just allowing myself to be nervous for whatever reason.
It's the fight or flight. The other one's going to release cortisol. You don't want that right now. There you go. And you're fucked.
So, you know, we came out, and I don't know, the judges always have this funny way of letting you know when you're in shape or not. They give you this look, this really happy, gnarly look when you're in shape, and when you're not, they don't look.
They check Twitter.
They start talking to each other. That's when you're like, fuck, man, I didn't nail it today. But when I came out, I just saw smiles, I saw head nods, like, oh shit. And that's when the confidence really, really set in at that point. And that's when I knew I was in the mix. And you know, we got first call out, and I was working with Factory at that time. Shout out to Factory. You know, we came in tremendous in that national show. And so when we came out for prejudging, I was in the, you know, first call out. They pulled out the first 5 or 6 guys. They had me and I can't remember the young man's name. I apologize if you're listening to this.
Is he still a name in the sport?
Yeah, but I don't think he's in the IFBB though. I think he's competing in a different federation.
Okay.
All right. But needless to say, the whole lineup eventually went on to become pro bodybuilders. That's how good that lineup was.
Quite a feat.
So, you know, clearly it was between him and I. And at that time, I don't know if they still do it, but I went back to the host hotel, and in the host hotel, they would have the scores for prejudging already up. So I'm walking in, I'm getting smacked in the face with knowing I'm losing by a point already. So they had me in line for second place. And it would have been easy for me, and especially now, seeing what happens after prejudging, after a lot of these shows, a lot of the competitors, because, you know, I coach a lot of people now, and I'm in the mix, so I see a lot of what's happening, how people tend to start eating excessively in between shows.
Spill over.
And that day, I chose not to. And what we did was the complete opposite. I dropped my carbs. And by doing that, I got a little bit tighter overnight from Friday to Saturday, and we came into the finals. And that's, you know, when we came out for the last comparison, you hear the head judge smack the microphone and say, all right, guys, set up. We're going to rejudge this show one more time.
Yeah.
And that's when I felt that electricity run up my ass, bro. It was just, you know, game face was on. The crowd was screaming because they understood what was happening, and I happened to have a lot of friends down at the Nationals at that time, so it was a very supportive crowd on my end, and it was a show. It was an exciting show that both the athletes and the crowd were highly involved. And when they called me out as the winner, man, it was one of the most electrifying moments I've ever felt. Kid that started early, you know, getting in trouble and coming up the way I did. And you know, the drugs and the mistakes and all the errors that a lot of us teenagers back then did. To go from that to feeling that feeling of recognition and to finally, for the very, 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 very first time, be able to say, I fucking did this. I got up every day, I put in the work, and I did this. It was a convincing day. It was a day that mentally I changed, my heart changed, and I vowed to continue pursuing not just the bodybuilding, but everything that just came with it. And this is why a lot of people that know me always know my story. And it's not that I glorify it. I fucking hated every second I was in prison. Every second. It felt like an eternity. And in the words of Cat Williams, if you don't know what that feels like, go into your closet, shut the lights off, and sit there for the next hour. and DM me when you get out.
I don't have a walk-in.
In 10 minutes.
It's just, you know, it was the worst experience ever. So no, never no glorification, but it's something that I like to keep alive in my mind. And it keeps me centered and humble. And it reminds me of how easy it is to get back there. Okay, and that's what keeps me under control, and that's what keeps me forecasting situations that I have to avoid to protect me and my family in terms of just like going out and doing the excessive things that really doesn't need to happen when you can just be doing something simple, positive, yeah, and safe. Because again, this is not the same world. We're living in different times, and you have to assume things now.
Yeah, a lot of
unfortunate,
hate,
but you have to assume things now, and you know that as a dad of some amazing baby girls and
tag in. I will second that. I love those little girls.
Oh man,
they're amazing.
You know, my babies, man. That's my life, and everything I do is to. I was right before this. I was watching The Lion King, bro. I was in the movie theater.
The new one?
The new one. I just came out the movie theater from watching The Lion King.
All right, real quick side story. Marco review. What do you give it out of 10?
It's awesome, man. I give it a 10.
Boom.
I give it a 10.
It's like a voiceover documentary.
I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed. It was good. And it was very the movie itself was almost like he was really talking to animals. I swear to God.
Wow.
It looked legit.
Excited for that.
Go check it out.
Disney, send the check. We'll be giving a Marco review every week.
Let's put it this way: my 3-year-old was up and down the aisle singing the song,
That's
the theme
awesome.
song,
That's
loud
great. That's great.
lungs, and everybody was loving it.
Oh my God!
There you go.
She's such a cutie. Oh.
So yeah, this is what I do.
You're not gonna get this time back with the kids, man.
No.
And that's huge. Because like I said before we even started recording, you know, being in the Hamptons, I used to do all the home audio video stuff, and like I mentioned to you, you see these $50 million houses. You see, you're there on a Friday, Saturday sometimes to help work, and you don't see a dad anywhere. And what does that do to kids growing up, especially daughters who are looking for a dad and sons that are looking for a man to pave the way and show them right and wrong and do that? What does that do when they're being raised by a nanny and the dad's working 90 hours a week, but he's not even present in the kid's life? You know,
It's I have many different opinions about you know. I believe you work hard to a certain point to be able to provide for your family, but there is a certain level at which you pass, and that's where you start making the mistakes. You know, not purposely. You know, you just feel that if you're providing this much, what happens is you feel you need to provide more and more and more, and it becomes it becomes all about you, and that's where the mistake happens, man. When you're not present, you don't have control. You can't expect certain things to come about. You're leaving people's lives to just pretty much turn out however they're going to turn out, and you can't even be upset about it because you wasn't present. You know, money can buy a lot of things, but money cannot buy the love from a little girl. You're not gonna be able to buy that. That's something that you gotta earn that.
You gotta feel
you know? And when even just having a son, man, and he wants to play baseball or just do this, the simple things, man. When you sit down and you think about a lot of the superstars, NBA, Major League Baseball players, and football players, look at behind them. Okay, they got a stone, man. They got somebody that, you know, whether it was mom, whether it was dad, or whether it was both of them, they had that fortitude coming, man, that just, they were present. I drove you to the games. How many times
you hear that.
You hear this
got you at practice.
Come on, man.
We brought you the coach.
I saw one just the other day where he's giving his mom a brand new Bentley because she's the one that drove him to the football games. And look at Drake. Every time he's always giving big ups to his mother.
Yeah.
For taking them to the games, for taking them to get piano lessons, and doing a lot of the simple things. And I get it, man. You get involved with money and businesses, and it requires your time. But you got to find that medium to where you're getting back. Because if you don't get back, you can't expect to have control or expect, a certain level of respect. It's just, it makes it difficult when you're not present. And I refuse to make that mistake. I try my very, very best to always be involved. Go to the schools and talk to the people that I need to talk to make sure that they're good. I don't send them nowhere. I don't let them stay anywhere. Why? Because that's just the way I am. And you know what? That's how my mother grew up. That's how we was all raised. If there was issues, they didn't dump me over here, threw me over there, and no, we was always under one roof. And that's how it's going to be in my house, because that's how you have control of your children, where they're sleeping, how they're coming up, who's talking to them, who's tucking them in, who's feeding them. Nobody's going to take care of them, not how you take care of them. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I live firmly by, because I made a lot of mistakes. But one thing I will not make a mistake in is bringing those little girls up. That's why I refuse to make a mistake. Okay? God has his plans, so be it. I refuse to make that mistake anywhere within those girls. That's where my success is going to come about. And that's my ultimate goal.
Yeah. Like we were talking about in the interview, you were saying you want to leave something behind at some point for your little girls at some point when they grow up, to look back and say, wow, our dad really turned it around and really busted his ass
That's
to
all
get
I care
to where
about.
he was.
That's all I care about.
A legacy.
If for some people it may be like, I should be more ambitious, or nah, man, that's it for me. I'm a simple guy. I don't need a lot of things. I don't need to do a lot of things. I don't need a lot of people in my life. I'm sorry. I'm somewhat scarred in a good way. I have a very pretty scar.
Yeah.
I got a pretty scar, man, but I'm able to tell the stories. I'm able to enjoy. I'm able to enjoy helping people. And my wife is always getting on me behind that. Oh, why you always, she can forecast me, man. She'll come home or I'll come home and she'll look at my face and she'll know what happened. 30 seconds. What happened? You okay?
So you can't play poker against
Who
her.
you was talking to? Who you was listening to? Yeah, I can't play poker. We're gonna lose. They're gonna get me every time.
Which wifey is coming on the podcast, so
Yes,
I can't
she
wait for her
is,
to come on. She's an amazing
You're
human
gonna
being.
love her,
Yeah.
man. You're gonna love her.
I said listening to your interview, I actually said, and then I want to let John get his in, but I actually said listening to the interview. I was talking to Lindsay Greeley. I was talking to Lindsay, and I said to her, I said, the way Marco talks about the wife, I said, that's how I know I haven't found the right one yet, because the passion and love that he has, not only for the family but for the missus, is insane. And I applaud that, because not many people are that passionate about their partner, and a lot of people, I think, just get hitched up because they don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
And I think, I won't say you got lucky at all, because that's almost like downplaying it, but I want to say, like, it's just so nice to hear like a true queen and king story.
I am lucky. I am very, very lucky.
I don't want to play it down and say like you're lucky for just getting there.
I'll say it. I'm
Get a
very
good hand.
lucky, man.
Yeah.
If there was one thing I didn't make a mistake in, was finding her, or that I gotta rephrase that. We found each other. It was she's an ace, man. She's an ace. She's fucking oak. In all seriousness, it's she's my boy. She's my partner. She's my crimey.
Bonnie and Clyde.
She's
There you go.
everything.
That's it, man.
You got the one when you got somebody next to you that knows you're about to do the most worst thing in existence. And she sits next to you and says, I don't know how the fuck you gonna do this, but I'm gonna buckle up with you, baby.
Yeah.
That's when you know you got yourself a ride or die.
She's so dope.
And Jasira has done that with me and for me time and time and time again. Jasira is she's a special human being. She really is, man. And I'm not saying that because
No, every
relationship-
interaction I've ever had with her, even before I started filming you both and like getting ready for the MD stuff, any interaction I had with you was always great, and she was just as, if not like stellar.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of her. It's like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of her. She's allowed me to see a lot of things and feel a lot of things that I became immune to for so many years. You know, you're in the streets and you got a bunch of girlfriends and you just running around the streets. You become desensitized to what it is to really feel or love. It almost feels like a weakness. It feels like a vulnerability. It just doesn't feel right. Well, at least at that time, that was the mentality. And when Jasara came into my life, man, it was literally at a switch. And it was because of her character, her smile, her sincerity, and the fact that I could do no wrong in front of that woman's eyes. I could do no wrong. And she made me feel like a human being, man. She made me feel extremely loved. And the amazing part is that I feel that, if not more, to this day. It's almost more, just in a very different way. It's she becomes. That's it. There's just no. You don't see that separating ever. You can think of the worst case scenario. You don't see that division nowhere. You just don't see it. It's not an option. It's not something you even dream about or discuss because it's never going to happen. And it's that certain. And that's something you feel. And those are, the ones that prove that are the ones that you see 60, 70, 80 years in, man. That's exactly what I look forward to be able to conquering that type of time with Jasara. Because she's what I call a queen, man.
Yeah.
You just earned yourself some serious brownie points. If she listens to this.
Sushi, baby. Okay.
Don't worry. I'll soundbite it. I'll wrap it. I'll put it on a hard drive. I'm gonna send it right to her. You'd be like, I didn't even know Nick was gonna do that.
Here, do you want to hear a clip from our podcast?
Yeah, you want to hear a clip? Oh wait, how did I get to this part?
The other 2 hours are basically like this. So here's the sums it up.
When I was editing your video, my mom, I showed her that piece where you talked about wifey, and my mom started tearing up, crying. Goodness. Mom, my mom was a single mom since I was 2.
Wow.
So she always says my dad and her were together to create me, because my mom is my best friend. I love my mom. I have the best relationship with my mom. I have no problem telling girls on a first date.
Of course.
Mom's my ride or die. That's the homie.
That's the
love
queen,
mom.
Man.
She's the best. You're gonna love her if you get to meet her.
She's the best.
She's awesome. But she never got to. I guess she never really got to feel that way for somebody.
Gotcha.
It was always very quick with my dad.
Right. And
then they split up very quickly, like 2-3 years in. So when she heard you talking about wifey, she was crying. She was like, "Oh my God, that is so from the heart," and you could just tell.
Mm-hmm. It's again, it was it took work. Just just to kind of show a little bit of the flip side of that. It hasn't been always peaches and roses.
Silver platter just given to you, like here's
Oh
everything.
no, man.
Well, the big thing you told me, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Speaking of not always silver and platter, you always wanted kids.
Yeah.
And you said it didn't happen until I got my mental clarity, and I started bodybuilding and getting into the sport really, and then it was almost like hand delivered to you.
Yeah, man. It's dude, I didn't have my first child till I was 35. 35.
Yeah.
Okay. My oldest is 11 now. 47. So yeah. It took some time, and ever since a young age, I've always had this intuition to want to be a dad. And it just never happened. It never happened, and that's the part that I feel that there was just some weird stuff going on because why it didn't happen. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. The timing, my lifestyle, the way things were, it just would have. My morals were different. It wasn't time, but I still had a passion to be a dad, and it never happened. And it didn't happen until, you know, my life changed. It was almost like somebody was just watching over it and just making sure, all right, you got to do things better, man, before we decide to give you this opportunity of having some babies. And when we changed I changed my lifestyle, when I changed my mental, when I just stopped thinking about babies and just started concentrating on positive things, living a positive life, a healthy life, and talking to positive people, and it just, again, the whole world, it just it transitioned. And that's when out of nowhere, it was almost like it was just out of nowhere. We found out that Josiah was pregnant, and that was one of my second best, happiest days of my life, because for some reason I was thinking it wasn't going to be possible. It wasn't going to happen at 35. Come on,
Well, it's a little different, I guess, for guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can pump a baby into somebody at 80.
Yeah.
if you had to.
Playboy,
the thing is
check.
that the average guy now, already in the early 20s, a lot of them are dads, man. At least in my neighborhood, everybody's a dad.
My boy Barra, my best friend. I'm the godfather to his firstborn, his son. He just had him a year ago. He turned a year. He's 27, 28.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, it happens, man. And already at 35, it just seemed weird. It seemed weird.
It seemed late, a little delayed.
The fact that it had never happened.
Yeah.
There was never no pregnancies. There wasn't anything happening.
Never slip on past the goalie.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it wasn't no visit to the doctors. There was none of that. And that was the part that was just kind of feeling like it was never going to happen. And at 35 and with Josiah, that's when God decided to allow me to raise some beautiful little girls, man. And we've been doing that ever since. And it goes by fast.
Very well at that, too.
Okay, it goes by fast, guys. Those babies, they're not going to stay babies for long. Enjoy every second. Enjoy every day. Every chance you get, try to get back and spend some time and talk. And, it's not always going to be easy. You're not always going to have the time. Life is going to take its course. So if there's moments presented to you, go do something simple. Go do something simple, man. You start to create memories and days that they'll never forget. Okay? Because I can remember pretty far back a lot of situations that a lot of us don't think that they're going to remember. They're going to remember, man. And it designs them. And if there's anything that feels amazing, is knowing that there's somebody there to protect you, to love you, push you, okay, and to discipline you when you need to. That's a whole nother thing. These kids need discipline, man. And if you're not there to create that, if you ain't doing it, then ain't nobody else gonna do it. Ain't nobody else gonna do it. Unfortunately, it's gonna be the law that does it, okay, if they lucky. But yeah, bro. I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about I think we were talking about your pro win.
Yeah, right?
We transitioned to everything.
2011.
This is literally how it goes, man. It's just like I said, free form. But I want to. Before we start talking more about bodybuilding, I want to touch on moments, how important they are. So as of late, I haven't really gotten to talk to you the last 2 months, really, because you've been crazy busy, and I got sick with a little overtraining virus and not feeling good, and over that course of that time, it kind of put into perspective what I was doing the last year. And since quitting my job a year ago, busting my ass, trying to get these videos out, doing this for a lot of different clients and all over and companies. And what I've learned this last month has really been to enjoy life, because I wasn't. The last year may have been grinding and nonstop, but I wasn't enjoying my time. I didn't have time off. I wasn't doing anything on the weekends. So for me, the last couple of weekends, I've been watching my Snap stories and everything.
I live vicariously through you.
Oh my God. My boy bought a boat. So every weekend we've been going out, cruising, just going to Fire Island, coming back. And one of the things that I stopped my whole group of friends, it was sunset, we're crushing some beers, chilling, and we're jumping off the boat into the bay of Wantagh.
Wow. And
we're watching the sunset. We got good tunes on. And I literally told my boys, I said, everybody fucking freeze. I said, remember this moment.
Oh, man.
Sit here for a second and just enjoy, because it's going to be gone in a second. And we're going to have to look back on it one day and go, shit, we rushed through. But no, sit here and enjoy this. And I told this to a bunch of kids at Bev's, younger kids. like 19, 20 that are going, or 18 that are going into college. And I said, yo, enjoy these moments. Tell your boys you love them. I said, they might not be here tomorrow.
That's right.
You don't know. Every time I leave him, I love you. Every time I see you, love you, bro.
Always, man.
Like, if you are close with me and I'm somebody that you're in my life because I let you in my life, you're there for a reason, and I love you, and I want to let you know that. So enjoy these moments, because we only get so many of them, and they go by quick.
They go by so fast, man.
Yeah.
That's the realistic part. That is the one piece that is for certain. You know, and if you don't think about those things before you know it, you blink at a blink of an eye, you've lost your youth. It's all gone, and that's if you're lucky nowadays, because you know there's so many things happening with individuals and being sick and so on. There's just a lot going on. So yeah, you got to take every moment, man, and I'm not gonna say live it up, because I believe that's the wrong statement. I believe that's the fucking problem today. Everybody's trying to live it up.
You're the opposite.
I would probably say slow it down. Just slow it down a little bit and take a good look around you and ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need? Okay? Because it's going to be a short paragraph. Trust me. What you need. Okay? Too many of us focus on things that are just not even necessary, and you're killing yourself, and you're breaking your fucking brain, and you're making your relationship miserable, and not paying attention to your kids and everything that's going on around you, just because of what is it you want. And that's what's happening, man. That's where we're all getting lost. You gotta seize the moment. Seize the moment. Focus on making a difference somehow. Whether it's a person next to you, you know, I always say that's an amazing way of adjusting yourself. If you can't adjust yourself, maybe try to help adjust somebody else in a weird way. You know, it's kind of like, all right, it's like, let's just say another drug addict is telling a drug addict for them to stop. One of them is going to say, look at you, look at what you do. You're telling me what to do. It still doesn't matter. That person eventually starts exercising this thing, that message. And that's what you want to start, you know, exercising, because things can change, man. People can live better lives if they, you know, a little help goes a long way. So understand, tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And as long as you understand that and you dwell in the fact that one day will soon all be over, I guarantee you that you'll be doing the exact same thing I do. And that's not wasting no time and making sure that you're loving as hard as you possibly can, that you're doing everything you possibly can to enjoy every single second and be the best person you can be. That's all that comes about when you really focus on your dying day. It just makes you live harder. So on a positive note, think about your dying day, okay? Because it's not a good feeling, but it also makes you think about the things that you need, not the things that you want. Family, okay? Love. You don't think about your fucking Cuban chain. You don't think about
I hope not.
I'm fucking dying. Who's gonna get my Rolex, man? Who's gonna get my Rolex?
Bury me with my Rolex. Fuck you guys.
Bro. You're just gonna be screaming for one more opportunity to be able to breathe and stay with your family just a little longer. That's all you're gonna be screaming about. And if you don't know that, it's because life ain't hit you yet, man.
Yeah.
Life ain't hit you. But it doesn't have to, for you to make the right choices and decisions. And that's why, you know, we're talking a lot about what we're talking about. It doesn't have to break your fucking ankles. You can move, make the right choices. Just project, be open-minded, okay? Most importantly, put your fucking ego in your pocket, because most of the time it's just your persona can't allow you to be a decent human being. Because you want to impress people, you want to look a certain type of way on the gram and all this other shit. And the reality is that 90% of these cats ain't built like that. Financially, mentally, they're just not built like that. And it's okay. Just be you. Just be you, man. Let people fall in love with you, man. I just wanted to just kind of throw that out there.
Well, you don't know. It makes sense. Because, you know, you're talking so much about your wife. That was one of the things you need in your life. You needed somebody like that. And once you get those things you really need, you know, you wanted to obviously become a better competitor over the years. how did those things you need really impact you getting more of what you wanted? You wanted to be a better competitor, right? But having these core things you needed obviously helped you out, right?
Oh man, we had to work. You have to work for everything that you need. You have to work for.
Right.
Say it again. Everybody wants to know what?
For everything that you need, you have to work for. Nobody's gonna give you what you fucking need. That's something you got to earn and work for every single day.
What did you say? What did you say in that video I sent you? Everybody wants to know.
No, I can't remember. You
It was Bevs. Everybody wants to know what cycle you're on. Everybody wants to know this.
Dude, they want to know the fucking how long is your intestines. They want to know everything.
Just put the fucking work in.
And the truth is that they don't even want to know for their benefit. They just want to know know shit about you.
And the hate later on.
Yeah, and to be able to just use it or it just is never for anything good. And that was that day I was feeling a little certain type of way. And it's because it's so common now, you know. I get so many messages about that, and just the average, it's okay. Like the average Joe just walks up to you, listen, so can I have a couple of questions about steroids, and like, no, that's illegal, my man. I don't know you. It's they're just.
I'm not a doctor. What are you talking about?
That doesn't work that way, and more you just see it happen. It's a level of comfortability that's I don't want it. I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, sometimes people just want to know the things you have that they don't, so they have an excuse not to do it. Oh, well, your intestine is 3 inches longer than mine, so I can't be a bodybuilder.
That is correct. That is correct. There's always all comparison. A lot of times it's just big comparison process that's happening, and they want to assess themselves via your information and so on, or if not, make adjustments based on what is it you're doing. And the truth is that anybody that tells you that it's one specific thing is fucking lying to you. Because it's not. I have to, for you, if you want to look like me and be like me, then I got to tell you what I've been doing since 2004.
It's a culmination of everything.
Every single workout, every bad moment, every good moment, that's what designed me to get to where I'm at. So, you know, again, the crazy part is that there's so much more information now. People knew more when there was just fucking magazines. There was no internet. There wasn't none of that. People just knew more. People researched more. People were just more serious about the sport and everything that it entitled. And there was a certain law. It was just a law that it doesn't exist anymore. You know, it's become a lot easier in my opinion.
All the misinformation.
It's crazy. People are lazier than ever before. Lazier. They want somebody else to get them done. They want somebody else. Nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to do the research, but everybody wants to take all the fucking credit.
Everybody want to be a bodybuilder.
Nobody
want to lift this heavy ass weight.
Nobody want to lift that heavy ass weight.
No,
There you go.
I can't no more. I wish I could, man. That's not more amazing than always getting to the gym and doing some incredible shit.
What was your favorite body part to hit?
Probably legs.
And movement. What was your favorite movement?
My favorite movement? Wow. That's a
I guess let's just do it like this. Ready?
I guess my most impressive movement has always been my squat.
But what's your favorite? Like, it's Friday night, you got a banger on in the headphones, you're feeling yourself, the joints are lubed up, everything's feeling good, and you're ready to bang out. What exercise you hitting?
I'd say probably back.
Yeah?
And
what exercise? You doing a row?
And probably seated rows.
Okay.
Seated cable rows. That's where that's the one movement that I can close my eyes and just get lost while I'm actually doing it. One arm rows and bent over rows is hard to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Gotta stabilize everything.
But when I'm here, and there's a video on that's on my page also that I was training with Oscar Hardy one day.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, and it was that was as a matter of fact, that's the perfect example of what I'm referring to, because I got lost in that video.
Close your eyes and just get it.
And I had Antonio Champanelli. Antonio. He was one of the guys that came up with me and turned pro.
I probably know him by face.
He's sitting right behind me in my fucking ear. So if you don't feel like you're good enough, and he's just fucking, dude, I get so lost in this movement that it became one of my favorite workouts of all time.
That's dope.
Yeah,
It's
it's
one to remember.
very inspirational. I watch it all the time, like as if it was a different person.
Yeah, well, it's
This
nice.
fucking guy is amazing.
Sometimes you got to amp yourself up, man.
Yeah.
But
gotta-
yeah,
you
I would
gotta
probably
enjoy
say
the
training
accolades.
back. I would probably say training back. But my most impressive, I guess, movements, the heaviest movements, has always been training legs.
Okay.
You know, I've always had a really good ability to train legs powerfully in comparison to guys who are much bigger and heavier than me. I've done some impressive numbers. Not in terms of powerlifting, not no 800 pounds, not no shit like that. But it's just more of the
In terms
way,
of moving weight.
the way, how I would do it, how simple I would make it look. And a lot of it just had to do with balance. But most importantly, learning to train legs the right way from the beginning. Okay, this is something that I guess we can kind of get
Spit
into
the knowledge.
real
Let's
quick.
go. Spit
Yeah.
the knowledge.
Okay,
Teach them.
the body's like steel, man, and when you apply heat based on how you bend that steel is exactly what you're going to end up with. And the body's the same way. How you start applying that heat, applying that training from the very beginning is going to start molding you into a certain type of form, mentally and physically. So now you take all those years of creating that same form and forging that steel into that particular shape to all of a sudden now realizing you have all these injuries. Now it's time to make the corrections. Your body's still going to have a hard time doing so. Okay, you ever had somebody that just squatted a certain way? They always have a problem changing it up and going into a different position. It's because they've trained themselves into that. So how you learn to train is probably the most important process in bodybuilding.
Fundamentals.
Okay, because if you don't apply those basic movements, that basic type of that understanding of mind muscle connection, and there's a lot of mistakes that a lot of guys don't have to do. The research is out there, the proof is out there with a lot of people training. It's just all over the place. There's just no reason. But egos, once again. Egos. You know, I always make the example of Ronnie pressing his 200-pound dumbbells to a lot of people I talk to, and it's impressive. He kicks them up, he lays them back, and he's pumping them out, and he's like, "Fuck, man, 200-pound dumbbells." But what I tell people when as they're watching the video, they're looking at how heavy the dumbbells are, and what I want to express to them is how he's moving them.
Smooth.
Okay, and that's the part that you have to separate yourself from and understanding you're a different individual. You're not Ronnie. If you're not moving those 200-pound dumbbells how Ronnie's moving them, you shouldn't be even fucking thinking remotely getting close to those things, whatever weight it may be. And when we make that analogy, people just kind of they start changing really, really fast. And that's what I like to try to teach and promote, man, because these guys today with the training, you know, you got a lot more athletes. Don't get me wrong. You got some amazing guys out there, man. You got you got a couple freaks. But I think it's more just the attitude, the mental culture. I think social media, it has put a slight burden and can take some fault in that. Okay, it's meant to promote positive things. It's meant to promote business. It's meant to promote. I don't think it was meant to promote lies and falsehood and negativity. You know, it wasn't meant for that. But that's what it's gotten into because that's unfortunately what the public likes.
Yeah, keyboard warriors talking shit
The public
online.
likes it. People don't give a fuck what it is. They're going to let you kill yourself, man. They're going to let you do whatever it is that you're doing because they're the ones making all the money.
Yeah.
You know? It's funny I said, I believe a lot of the biggest CEOs and all that, none of them have that. None of them have that. And if you think they have that, that's somebody else that's running that shit for them. They're nowhere near that, investing any time in none of that shit. But, yeah.
How many keyboard warriors you run into? Wait a minute. That you know damn well wouldn't be talking shit in person.
You know, man, every gym has got a few. Every gym has got a few. Honestly, I don't really pay mind to that. Yeah, I don't give those people any kind of space in my mind, and I just look at it and nod my head and just keep going about it because you can't. Some people do have to get burned for them to understand, you know, in what direction is it they're heading, man. And I'm that kind of guy. As long as you stay out of my way, you got nothing to say to me or whatever. We're good. I I try not to get caught up in shit like that. It happens every once in a while.
And that's the best way to be, though.
Yeah, man. Because again, people misunderstand goodness, you know, for something different. You know, when you smile at people and you try to express a positive vibe every time, people just take that and they think it's something different. And it's
they think that's actually fake.
Yeah.
They think that the positive vibes you're spitting out there, and you trying to be a good human being, say hey to people. You know, I say hey to people walking by me all the time. I'll be like, "What's going on, bro? How you doing?" Like just walking down the street, something like that, and people almost get like taken back. But you see that type of mentality and energy on Instagram or Facebook, people automatically think that that's fake. But all the people with the fake ass cars and money and watches and shit like that, that's what's glorified. Not somebody just doing something good.
It's all about who can be the superstar for today, man.
Who's going viral?
I don't know. I came up different. I didn't want the attention. That's how I was brought up. No, fucking stay down there. Don't let nobody see you. That's how I came up. Don't go back there. There's a camera over there, man. That's how I came up. Now it's the opposite. Now it's let me find the camera. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. and again, it's great if you just use it for the right reasons, for the true reasons, you know.
For what it was built upon.
Exactly, man. And just, I think people express emotions too much on that thing, you know.
Every fart and detail, every.
And it's easy. It's very simple to have a personal problem with this. It's so easy to have like a fucking psychiatric problem with this. You see people, the emotion, how a particular comment can make two guys want to go at each other, and before you know it, you got a friend, and you just always, every time you're with your friend, all you see is this and this and this at every fucking second, everywhere, every time. I can't do it, man. Hold on. Let me pull up. I get it. When we're in business and we're doing what we're doing, let's go to work. We're having a particularly good time. Yeah, let's record that. Those are memories. What I'm referring to is the fake shit, the fucking fake shit. Or the particular threats or the messages that just come across. It's all, I believe in talking to you when I see you.
Yeah.
I want to see you. Let's talk, man. All right, now let's catch up. Let's meet up over here. Let's sit down and talk. I don't feel like chatting with you on from DM to DM to DM to DM. It's just
it's
not,
great if you have family.
It's not my thing.
Where am I messaging you? I'm messaging you on Snapchat. I'll hit you up on Instagram.
Listen, I think you better off writing me a letter. Just say, well, fucking, I'm old school. I use stamps.
Okay, so he's old school. So wait, I'll send a raven. Go get a pigeon at the rooftop. It'll be there by 3.
Hey, man, those days are gone too, man. The pigeon coops. Remember the pigeon coops?
Yeah.
Hey, those are great times.
I just want to jump in quick.
You know,
the mental health. What you're saying with somebody saying something bad on Instagram. You know, they were talking about taking all the likes off of social media.
I'm super happy about that.
There was a 19-year-old model. I saw a case about it, and apparently she's suing Instagram.
There you go.
Because they took her likes away. And she said it's affecting her mental health.
What a fucking clown.
That's exactly it.
The sad part is that I believe she's probably telling the truth.
She probably fucked up from it. No, 100%.
She's probably right.
She's telling the truth.
That's why I'm saying she's a clown.
Nobody likes me in real life. But these accounts do.
The crazy part is how, you know, that's going to grab a lot of people's attention. And again, for what?
How's anybody going to know how many likes she got on her ass picture?
I don't know.
Oh, man, that's a whole nother one there, boy. Yeah.
You bring up ass shots on the podcast. I love it.
He knows. All anybody has to do is bring up like the fakest fucking chicks on Instagram, and it's like going like this to me. Let's just set this kindling right here on fire, right under Nick.
It's changed. You see so much of it now.
You're numb to it.
You scroll through it. I'm just like, all right, yeah, no problem.
Mom Dukes, literally, I show her some of these fucking ridiculous girls. I'm like, look at this asshole. I'm like, seriously. Well, not literally look at her asshole, but like, look at this fucking jerk. Like, and my mom will say, there's no mystery anymore. There's no enjoy, like getting excited to see the girl that you're interested in at some point. Not in her clothes. you see it all fucking day on Instagram, and that girl that you're chasing after is the one that's fucking posting all these half naked shots. So you know what privacy is there?
Not for nothing.
You promote your ass, but then when if a person compliments you on it, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's sexual harassment.
You know what I'm saying? But all you do is promote it. I just believe that it's attention seeking. It's attention seeking. It's become a different way to get people to focus, to pay attention to whoever you may be, because if it were different, you probably would not be getting that attention for no other reason. You know, and it looks nice.
Yeah,
okay,
good for you. Great.
You're driving a lot. I'm sure you're driving a lot of men crazy behind it, you know, but the reality is that you're calling upon the wrong crowd. And
you really gonna find husband in there?
Well, you know what? Hold on. You're driving a lot of boys crazy. A man has no time for that.
Man doesn't give a shit.
A man doesn't give a fuck. He's busy doing something.
He's
else.
rolling through. He's like, oh, great, another ass, whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's the value of that whole entire image is just going into a different direction. Again, that's just my opinion.
You look like property. You don't look like somebody.
Listen, I believe in, you know, every once in a while you want to put up a nice picture, a bathing suit shot, or like, it's the moment.
Great.
If you're caught in the moment, so be it. But when everything is just those type of shots, and now you got girls that should not be taking those fucking pictures, doing the exact same thing and thinking that it's okay. I don't know. No, it's if you bought it.
Oh shit!
If you bought it, I don't think it's something, you know. Imagine I had 2 fucking fake ass softballs in my biceps, right?
Simple.
And I just run around doing front double biceps everywhere. I'm gonna look like a fucking clown. Well, guess what?
There are some guys like that though.
Sinful, send the check.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah.
Sinful, send the check.
Fucking promo.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's the case, man. And the funny part is that you even see them in shows now.
Scary.
You see them in shows now, and that's where you just know things are just heading into a slight bit direction. I mean, the business of bodybuilding is immense, is at an all-time high, and I love it. I love the fact that the industry is growing so much, and it's worldwide now. Like that was unheard of at one point, and it's growing. I love it. But I just think there has to be a little bit more implemented, and I believe that has to come from the pros, from the athletes, from the people who are active to make these changes, you know, because they're the majority, they're the ones that have control in what happens in these shows. It's all about the athletes. So as far as athletes, man, please take the young crowd with you. Start teaching these cats, man, and start pushing down the right information and guiding people in the right direction, because we need to keep this industry and this lifestyle running within its culture and what it represents and what makes it so special.
It's quality control.
So special to be called a professional athlete, to be called that, okay? That's why people cry when they get that pro card and the emotions fly sky high, and when you win these shows, and yeah, it's not for the fucking check that you're crying that you just won. It's not for no $5,000, $10,000 that you're on your knees in front of everybody crying your lungs out. It's because doing what we do, it gives us something so much more. It's the most difficult thing that any human being can do, is prepping for some of these shows in terms of diet and the strenuous exercises and the emotions flying and still being able to be responsible for your personal life. It's a lot, man. It is a lot. So yeah, it means a lot to be an IFBB pro and to represent that. And that's something that I take pride in. When somebody says, hey, as a matter of fact, it happened today at the gym. It was a guy walked up and he was like, Mr. Rivera? Like, you calling me Mr. Rivera? Felt fucking good. But it was surprising to me, and I had to like kind of pretend to jump out my body, and I was looking at myself and I'm like, yo, he just called you Mr. Rivera, man. And it's because people respect, people understand, you know, and I think, in my opinion, most importantly is what I give out. It's what I give out, and it just made me feel so good. And he was like, Mr. Rivera, IFBB Pro Marco Rivera. He was asking me, and it was just like, all right, man, this is it.
Yeah.
This makes me feel amazing. How, and you can see at the level of how he sees that title.
Yeah.
And I fucking worked hard for that shit.
Prestigious.
Endless nights, endless days, grueling workouts, man, dieting for years on end, and you're able to make one of your biggest dream come true via no education, you know, no support from coming in from nowhere. There's no checks coming in, and you're at home and all you fucking do is eat, sleep, and train. No, that's not the case, man.
That's maybe the 0.1%.
No, it's a process that when you live it, you have to live it to understand it. And that's where I just want the value of that to maintain itself. You know, those credentials to be able to be called that and have that wearing on your attire, and people understand, dude, man, like that is one of the hardest things ever to complete. And to be able to say that you've been in the Arnold Classics and the Olympia, and those are things. Yeah, little kid from the Bronx, man. Yeah. That didn't come up. I didn't have weights around me coming up. None of that stuff existed, and we managed to find a way. Yeah. And bodybuilding saved my life, straight up.
Amen.
Yeah. Bodybuilding saved my life, and this is why I'll always my life revolves around the sport, the lifestyle of it. My family lives it. My sisters and my extensive family, everybody's starting to really get into it. It's becoming something that's integrated into families, and that's what the fuck I'm talking about. That's, for me, that's what it's all about, is being able to see your work being filtered down to the little ones and other families and so on, you just behind you doing what you love to do. You know, and that gives me a lot of pleasure to know that how I started, okay, led me to how it's all ending, how it's all where it's heading towards. Yeah. You know, and it was all necessary. It sincerely was. It was all necessary. So for the next person that asks me, yo, how did you do it, man? I think you should bring a voice recorder, because
let's start.
You're not gonna have enough
one.
paper, man. It's
Do you find that that it's a little bit more? I wouldn't say less prestigious getting a pro card now, but would you say it's gone more towards the side of almost like dishing them out at the national shows now? Because when you got it, it was like that it was just the overall that won it.
No, it was just the class winner when I got it. And prior to that, it was just the overall.
It was the overall, like 2 shows a year. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When you turned pro, you was literally doing a pro show the week or the 2 weeks after.
You were like ready for the Olympia.
Already there.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so many competitors now that obviously the rules had to change a little bit, and the awarding process. So if you want the industry to get bigger, then clearly you have to have more competitors, and this is where having more pro cards accessible to athletes have come about. The downside is that, in my opinion, I think there's too many shows. I think there's too many shows, and that's what makes it a lot more accessible for athletes that will probably never have the opportunity to turn pro via certain shows. Yeah. Okay, so many opportunities now.
Going to an area where they're not going to be. There's not going to be a lot of.
The best of the best is not going to do this show because he done did the first 2-3 shows. Now you just come in afterwards. Again, it's almost like if you can showcase it and watch out for certain signs and make sure you don't do this and you go ahead and you do that. It's almost like, all right, you'll be able to get there. You can forecast that. When there was other guys who took, I knew guys that 12 years trying every single year, trying, and it just wasn't even coming close still. It just didn't happen. And now it's just, it's changed.
Even the term nationally qualified, that should be a big fucking deal, saying you're a national level competitor trying to go pro. But there's so many shows nowadays, you could be literally the only guy in your class, look like balls and go, hey, walk up to everybody, I'm a nationally qualified competitor.
That part I have a bit of a hard time with, the qualifying for the nationals. When I think at one point there was top three, I don't know, Even
I know it's top
He would know.
two. I
He's
know
still
it's top
he's still
two every
competing. So
class.
at the lower, you're still competing at the amateur level. So.
I don't. I disagree with that part. I believe it should always just be the class winner. You know, that's the reason why you have first and second place. It doesn't. It's not all right. You guys are both first place. No, it was a first and second. So it just or better yet, what I've seen happen in the past is I come in for two different classes, and. I can't win it there, but I'm going to win it over here. And it's only because there was nobody good enough to beat me over here. So again, man, I think the value of it is. I don't want to take away nothing from the athletes that attain these awards. You know, they work extremely hard to get there. I get it, man. I get it. But the truth of the matter is that was. Not allowing the, or it's what's allowing the title of becoming a pro and all these shows and what you're involved in to be so prestigious, to kind of be slightly degraded.
Yeah, to not be as majestic.
It's not. It's not. And
because that's a big deal, man. I wanted to be a pro. I was like, when I first started, man, I knew it was gonna take a lot of hard work.
Listen, man, a bodybuilder doesn't become a bodybuilder to make fucking money.
It's the worst thing you should do.
You don't come into the sport to try to be thinking that you have the master plan. You're gonna make millions of dollars. It's only a fucking handful of people that do that. You don't understand what I'm saying? Only a handful. It's not, and in comparison to how many people try to get into the industry, it's not even 1%. It's less than that.
Yeah.
0.1? I don't know, but it's again, man. It's heading into. I think it's gotten quite easy. Hopefully things will start getting a lot better in terms of making these shows a little bit smaller, or making less, keeping the shows to a certain point where they don't continue to grow, because before you know, all you got to do is just pick the right show and you're getting it.
Yeah.
And I disagree. I think that takes away from the person that really did the serious hard work, that really deserved to earn first place. There's just no comparison in a lot of these calls, and that's the part that allows people to think they're at a certain level when they're not. And these are the same individuals who will probably go on to become online coaches and I don't know, gurus. What the fuck they call them? Gurus? Lifestyle coaches. It's like one big fucking rehab.
Everybody's an online
You're getting
coach.
counseled by people who did the same fucking thing.
Can you be my lifestyle coach, Marco? Be my lifestyle coach.
No, Michael, he has too much experience.
Yeah, man. I'll fuck your life up, man.
my internal computer will crash. I'll be like, I can't unload all this shit.
Find one of the janitorial staff here right now.
It's crazy.
Check their Instagram. We'll say life coach and online coach.
There's a lot of individuals who are amazing at their jobs. They're amazing, nutritional coaches, man, and lifestyle coaches. I know some of them, and they're amazing. Okay, and they sincerely love what they do, but the majority, no, it's a fucking hustle. That's all it fucking is a hustle. And that's the part that I would also like to be able to just kind of bring about and explain to people, man, that there's a lot of individuals out there who make all these promises and so on, and it just doesn't follow through. It doesn't follow through, and you have to be very cautious with that. Okay, so you can't trust everybody. This is your body. This is your body. So if something seems pretty skeptic, then chances are it's because it is. And you need to be responsible in making the right calls. You ain't got to hurt feelings or anything, but you have to be responsible in making the right calls. And if you fully invest into this individual, then that's what you just did. Okay, now you got to ride it out. Now it's an equal thing. It's not from one side to the next. It's got to be an equal thing, man. And that's something that I always like to, let everybody know that's probably interested in looking for a coach or looking to work with somebody in terms of dieting. There's a lot of great coaches out there. I know a bunch of them, man. Okay, and but the masses is everybody's doing it now.
So on that note, we still got some more to cover. But I want you to plug yourself. So tell the people listening, how can they get in touch with you if they got questions?
Okay, that's Marco Rivera 12, Marco Rivera 12 at gmail.com if you want to send me an email, and Marco Rivera 12 on Instagram.
Cool. And he'll be tagged in all this. So if anybody has any questions for Marco, Marco is amazing. So obviously you've listened this far.
Serious inquiries only.
Yes,
serious ones.
Only.
No playing around.
No
stuff.
spam.
Yeah.
I'd like to get into this being your last competitive season.
Yes.
That was big. If you want to touch on the year before, I think that's always a really good message.
Absolutely.
So why don't we touch on the year before, because I know a lot of people, they obviously know you as a heavy hitter in the 212 and doing your thing for years. And also as a very positive, as we mentioned already, and you can already hear and tell, positive, reinforcing, amazing individual. But not a lot of people may know the tragic event that happened a year ago that really set the toll for you making this New York Pro that just passed, your last show, and then getting you on track to doing your stuff post New York Pro now and post pro bodybuilding shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in 2017, that's when I had last competed prior to this year. In May of 2017, New York Pro, and I believe I took 7th place in that show. Arguably, I felt I belong in the top 5. I'll still say that today. I just want to throw that out there.
Say it, dude. Say it.
But I thought I came in the very best shape of my life in 2017. Came in full, came in hard, shredded. I had a great time with the crowd, man, except the call-outs didn't go as I expected to, but, you know, it's the world of bodybuilding. And I told myself leaving that show, man, I said, you know what, man, because every single year I just kept getting better and better and better. Mm-hmm. And I've always told myself that as soon as that kind of stops and things start heading backwards, that's chances are that's when it's time for to start hanging up the gloves. Except for 2017 was my best year, so I thought I was just reaching my peak. So getting ready for New York Pro in 2018, just the average day, supermarket, family, shopping, and we decided I was in a good mood. It was a day that I was able to eat a lot of food, so I went and picked up some steaks and Costco's, and I liked, you know, I cook a lot at home, by the way. I love to constantly feed my family.
Master Chef, he's cooking for us after the podcast.
Yeah,
he said he was going to saute up some food for us.
There's a George Foreman in the back of his car.
McDonald's, a bacon and egg sandwich, so you can go grab. So in the process of making food at home, I had turned on the broiler, started broiling some steaks, and it was maybe about 15-20 minutes after I started cooking that when I went to go check the steaks one more time, I opened up the oven and was hearing a weird sound. I heard a weird sound, and that sound was a can of Pam, a large can of Pam that was sitting off from the stove that apparently, I guess, came under heat and under pressure and exploded at the same time for me opening the oven.
And there was nothing on the top flame.
There was nothing on the top.
Wow.
It was just the broiler. There was no flames on the top.
No,
that's what's fucking nuts.
And the evidence to prove that, because if that thing would have exploded on top of the stove, chances are it would have burned. It would have burned the stove, or something would have happened to a stove where it would have been significant that it was on there, and it wasn't. It was off. I remember clear as day it was off. And that was the scary part. I done did the exact same thing like this for years, and it never happened. And to see how simple it happened. So yes, whether you're grilling outside, you're making bacon and eggs at home, it's just the average day, or most importantly, for athletes, because when you're dieting and you're prepping, it's easy to try to do a lot of things at one time. You're trying to make sweet potatoes, white rice, brown rice, grilled chicken and steak all at the same time because you're tired of cooking.
You're running a whole kitchen.
So it's easy to just kind of disregard, I guess, what you're doing, and you have to take a moment out. Just take, while you're cooking, man, take the time out to just put your utensils away, and especially those cans that are under, any can that's under pressure, as far as I'm concerned now.
Ever since then,
Any can.
I go right back.
Everything has got
I
to
spray with everything off, and I put it back in the
because
cabinet.
you got Lysol cans,
Yeah.
you have a lot of other stuff that a lot of people like to leave around the counter, and I don't trust anything anymore. So make sure you put those things away, because they are a little ticking time bomb sitting next to your stove. And when that thing goes off, you will not have but a nanosecond to react. And before you know it, melt it, your face off, your hair, your arms. Fortunately for me, it caught me on my left arm. And we caught 2nd and 3rd degree burns. It caught me in the top of the head. But the bad part was running away from the fire. I jumped over the island counter and landed on my shoulder, which eventually required surgery.
What happened? Was that a torn?
It was, we had, first of all, I probably had about 4 humongous spurts that had grown over time that I had no idea. I had no idea. I knew I had difficulties.
Was it painful when you pressed?
What's that?
Was it like, did you not know that they were there, but was it ever painful?
Honestly,
when you
I
pressed?
just thought I was always sore from my front delts. I just thought I was just always sore. You end up walking around with so much muscle, and you become slightly desensitized to certain things that you just, if you're able to block it out here, you kind of forget about it. And you just think, all right, this is just my anatomy, this is how I'm built, and so on. So when that happened, that's when we required surgery, and also found out that I was very arthritic. So the surgery, they tried to remove as much as they can. They removed the spurts also. They incorporated two this, no, it wasn't 2, it was one little screw, okay, and it was never the same since. Yeah. So remember, I said that we would consider stopping once things started going backwards, and this is where things started spiraling backwards. And the part that I didn't expect that really hit home, man, was how eventually I ended up feeling behind all of that happening so fast. And that was the part that was really difficult. The burn eventually healed. The shoulder eventually got surgery and it's healed. But the scarring was the mental one. And if you've never really strived for anything that difficult, it'll be hard to understand why is it athletes get depressed and go through certain things when there's something traumatic. And when I say traumatic, I refer to this huge lifestyle change, okay? Because you go from being on top of the world to all of a sudden wondering, all right, what's gonna happen now? Am I gonna be able to move right? You depend on your body and your physicality for so many years that a lot of people don't tend to plan for that moment either. And when it hits you, it really grabs you by the neck. And that's what it did to me. And as an athlete, I've always been very reserved with, I can deal with this. I have to handle this. I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna get over it. I'm gonna fix this. Well, I'm here to let you know that you can't fix everything. You can't. And as soon as I started to accept that I couldn't do that by myself, is when things started to get better. But prior to that, man, I was in a hellhole.
Yeah.
I was in a hellhole. I would be crying. I would be in my house for a week on end and not talk to my wife. Just stuff, man, that I would sit in the closet for hours, just sitting in a fucking closet.
Isolation.
I didn't want people to see my face. It was just weird, man, the stuff that you start thinking about and how you start to behave. And it started getting into my behavior. And that's when the clock kind of started coming around and the New York Pro started coming about. You know, it was already towards the end of 2018 and you started to head into the 2019s, and that's when I said, man, I don't know, maybe one day I can, maybe I'll think about it when the time, well, guess what, man? March, January, February kicked in, man. March, which made me go to the Metropolitans and just kind of refresh the emotions and everything else. And that's when I committed myself to 2 individuals. And as soon as I committed myself, it basically started to rearrange me. So I trained myself out. I needed to train myself back in. And it was basically training my mental. Because what happens is you start thinking about so many fucked up things in your life that your body and your mind and your emotions start going along with that. And you start believing and thinking, nah, it's over, man, that's it. And I needed to start doing the opposite. Start thinking about everything I fucking have done, how I got it done, and how worst off I've been in life, and how I've managed to come out of, and start rearranging that whole positivity again to get to the point where it brought me back to the New York Pro stage. And that day was a very emotional day. Very emotional day. I had it was, I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, scream, but it was a very emotional day. And what made it so special was everybody that showed up, everybody that came out to support and to stop by and show and express to me their gratitude for everything that I've managed to do over time. And yeah, we had a hell of a day that day in the New York Pro, man. That was a day I'll never forget. Again, I thought I should have placed better, but I'm just throwing it out there. But listen, I understand the sport. I get it. You know, again, us bodybuilders, we don't do it for the check, man. It's not for the check.
Do it for the love of the sport.
If it's for the check, most people will not even attempt to even start to do this shit. It's not for the check, man. It's just to be able to have, what bodybuilding teaches is having control of yourself. Having control of yourself. And when you finally get to do that, you're able to control your life so much more. And this is why I say bodybuilding saved my life. And I believe every gym should have some sort of program where kids after a certain age can come in with their dad, or a specific day where the kids can come in with their dad into the gym. Because this is what you start to feed them. This is what you start to teach them. Initially, it starts as the physicality, but when you start taking care of that, you start taking care of everything along that comes with it. Their mind, their emotions, who they're surrounded by, what is it they're eating. They're having control of their life, and you're doing it and teaching it in a way where you don't even have to show a book, because they when the kids walk in there, there's so much light, so many machines, they just want to jump on every fucking thing. They don't want to run away from it, they want it. So it's kind of like a freebie, man, and being able to train them. And I hope every gym at some point is able to do that. I know the day I open the doors to mine, which hopefully in the next 6 months will be up and running.
Hey, all right.
Knock on wood, baby.
Yeah.
We're still thinking about the name of the place, but yeah, some good things, big things happening, man. God has been good to me, and you know, I believe what you give is exactly what you get, man. You know, stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to the people around you. Don't pretend to be anything that you're not, because it's not impressive, and real people are going to spot you a mile away. So don't even waste your time.
Don't waste your breath.
And if they accept you, it's because they're using you for whatever it is that you think you're fucking promoting. You don't understand? Be true to yourself and watch how people will love you regardless. Authenticity is something that's being lost. And it's something that I work on maintaining every single day I step out, man, or when I talk to people. And then bodybuilding saved my fucking life.
Yeah. Amen, man.
Getting up and grinding and busting my ass every day taught me to love myself, to love everything around me. It made me rearrange a lot of things in my life. And if I could do it, man, if I can do it, okay, you can fucking do it too. Okay, I know there's a lot of people that feel differently about that. Well, no, man, no. I believe if you train yourself, if you focus hard enough, if you fucking believe, if you believe that you can succeed, I'm here to tell you that you can, but you got to do the work. And you know what? It's not so bad doing the work. Okay. I think maybe being in jail for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking years, it sounds like a little bit more work.
Yeah.
So do the work here.
With no result.
Free.
Yeah, with no result.
With your wife, with your clothes on and eating your own food. Do the work here, man.
With the babies.
Don't try to make $1 million, man, in the next 6 months. You know, not in an illegal way. There's so many ways nowadays that if you just put your mind and your ideas together, you'll be able to make as equal amounts of money, if not more. That's the time that we're living in. So take your hustle and just make it a legit one, you know, and focus on bringing and trying to help out your brother next to you, okay? Because if you was blessed and given an opportunity to do something amazing, there's a reason for that. You got to show that and give that to somebody else. Pass it down. Keep showing it forth. Try to live your everyday or do something every single day that people will talk about 100 years from now. Try to do that every single day.
I love that.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Perfect.
That's like the ending right there. we always look at each other after like a solid statement.
After like a 5-minute speech.
It's
all right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What I really want to say is, you know, listening to that story, listening to you come back from it. Last week we had Leighton on. Leighton's a personal trainer. It was very deep into mental health. Leighton was put into an institution.
Wow.
With a lot of different stuff, mentally diagnosed, and he brought himself back, and he's training millionaires, billionaires now, and he's out there preaching
that
love.
shit gets me amped.
You guys would
me so amped.
You guys would vibe so hard together, like seriously. So when you start saying, and you know, a lot of people commented on us talking about mental health and saying how important it is that our podcast is
saying something
talking about mental health. Well, my question is, why aren't people? Why isn't anybody talking about mental health? Because, you know, although you could say that person's crazy or that person's fucked up in the head, this and that, you know, it could seem like a big joke, but that shit is crazy. That shit is literally crazy because it will rot you from the inside out. And coming back from that, man.
It's mental health, brother. It again. It doesn't pick and choose, man.
Nobody, me.
Dude, it can get anybody at any stage of their life. And unfortunately, it's going to catch you probably at the worst stage of your life. Just it's going to knock on your door and it's just going to make it so much more worse. And it's not something you can shake off. That's the part that fools you. You think you still have control. You think... Again, the society nowadays, nobody wants to go to the doctor. Nobody wants to talk about their issues. Everything you can fix it. No, man. And when you see it, it's the attitude that goes along for when you see it. Most people tend to criticize it. Most people tend to make fun of it. But very, very, very few people will probably approach that individual and say, how can I make your day better today? Or how can I help you? Or if you're not willing to do something positive about it, there's no reasons why you should be making fun of it. You know, you gotta help these people out, man, okay? Because all you're saying when you don't help out, all you're saying is that that'll never happen to me. And you're making a big mistake. That can happen to anybody. It could be your brother, it could be your mom. It just can, and it can be dangerous. It can be extremely dangerous as well. So these are things that need to be spoken about. You know, these individuals need help, and there's help in so many places. But if people don't give a shit, if people don't take out the time to notice and talk to people like this, or I get it, man. A lot of people are just trying to just mind their business every single day and not stop. Nobody's got time for anything. And no, there are situations, man, where you just, if we're those individuals, man, that have the spotlight, and we have the platform, we gotta be the ones to step up and try to make a difference somehow, some way, because we're the ones that got, you know, we've been through it, man. And when you've been through it, you know that it can be you. It can be you at any given time. And if it's you, then you want to help. Then you don't want people to laugh at you. Then you don't want people to criticize when it's you. But when it's somebody else, it's no big deal. Nah, man, I believe that there's certain things that if you can see that means somebody put that there for you to see. Question is, what is it you do with that? What do you do with that situation? What choices do you make? And unfortunately, the average choice is not the one that's required here. We need people to talk about it. We need people to spot it and help out, man. You'd be surprised how you can change one person's day by a 5-minute conversation. You can change a person's whole fucking day, man, by just a cool couple fucking words, bro. Or just saying good morning with a smile on your face. Yo, good morning, man. You know, it
bless up. Good to see you.
Yeah. But people, they can't do that. They can't do that. I go through this every single day. Every single day, and it's upsetting. And then there's people that you cross your path, and in 5 minutes, your whole day is fucked up. Oh,
I've had that.
Infectious, man. And then it's like you just can't stop thinking. Your whole day is gone.
Yep.
Nah, man. We got to work on keeping good vibes and getting back to individuals that need a little bit of help, man. Because it can be you. It could be your father. It could be your mom. And again, I think that way because life has taught me that, man. I've seen a lot of people go, and there's just certain ways you don't want to go.
Yeah.
There's just certain ways, and a lot of it is avoidable. If you could just stop and just maybe talk to somebody for 5 minutes, or give some positive words, man. And that's why I'm always vibing with people and listening to their stories and trying to help out and making personal adjustments as best I can, because I love doing that. I love how it makes me feel that people trust in me to and confide in me in some of the worst situations ever, because that's a whole nother thing. That's why people don't get the help. They don't trust nobody. They don't trust nobody. Everybody wants to fucking demean you via whatever's wrong with you, but you have to be true to yourself, and that starts by recognizing, yo, I got some issues, man, and I need some help.
Maybe before throwing the happy pills down your throat, like the doctors like to push.
You have a conversation
with somebody and just tell somebody you love them and you need them.
That's it, man. Yeah. That's it. You'd be surprised how that can change you. But no, that's not what people do now. Now people open up their phones, go into social media. First thing in the fucking morning, that's their breakfast. And already starting their day emotionally. Whatever, it may be a good one, it may be a bad one. All based off what you just saw within a couple of seconds of you just waking up. Fuck that. Oh, man, you're going to let something like that have so much control of you, but that's the reality of the times we're living in. Yeah, man.
Also the times we're living in with Instagram. The first thing you see in the morning is a fucking ass. At this rate.
And it's not in my face. Why isn't it in my face? The only ass I want to wake up to is running to my bed.
I remember a time there was different buns on your phone, man, that weren't your wives, bro. It was like, no, yeah, you crazy, man.
Oh no, it's the industry. It's the industry. Let me double tap that.
Unbelievable.
Well, Marco.
Yo,
we would love to have you back on.
I'd love to be back on.
I'll preface that. I don't care what John says, even though I knew he was what he was going to say. But I would
he's
love
an
to.
asshole. Get the fuck out of our office.
Yeah, right.
No, I just know that if we could just help one person just understand that it doesn't make you less of a man, it doesn't make you less of a human being or woman or anything, to look out for your mental health, look out for yourself. Whatever upbringing you came from, the experiences do make the man or the woman. However, those experiences could shape you into a way that can tell you that the old life was not the greatest one, and I have to learn how to shape this new one to make it better for my family, for myself, for my mental clarity. And I know that a lot of people were excited that you're coming on. A lot of people were so excited.
You're having Mr. Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, man. I have to be pro Mr. Rivera.
Hey.
That's my man right there. So I want to thank you again for coming on, opening up, talking about things that people might have a hard time talking about, but you freely talk about, which helps other people in the long run. So that's a saint-like quality right there, because some people wouldn't do that because they want to be reserved. So thank you.
No, it's my pleasure, man. My experiences have caused the biggest highlights of my life, so that's why I speak about them proudly. Okay, I'm not here to advertise or promote any kind of negativity to anybody. I want to be able to live a happy life, and if I can show other individuals how to live a happy life, I'm telling you, man, it's what it's all about. But the reasons why I'm so big on this is because you just go through so many things or certain things in life that just removes all the shit that you just don't need. And when you do that, you realize how simple and how beautiful your life is. There's a lot. The more you have, the more work. It's just more work. The more work you have, the less time you have for the things that really matter. Okay? There is a certain level at which you got to get invested in, but at some point, man, you just focus on living life happily, man, because again, we only get one shot. It doesn't have to be miserable. It really doesn't. And if we start getting back to a lot of the small things, I think we can start making this planet a much better place, man. And it starts with our little neighborhoods. It starts in our house. And then it branches out. It can become something a lot bigger. I can go into really deep thought when it comes to stuff like this, and I know I sound like I branch out. It's because I think so far ahead. I'm not talking about 2 years down the line. I'm thinking about what's going to happen the next 20 and the next 30.
50, yeah.
Just really thinking about those times and where things are heading towards, man. And, you know, I focus about these things. I guess it's something that happens as you start getting older in life and more experience. But it feels good to make a change. It feels good to see somebody who doesn't have that opportunity get the opportunity, or somebody that couldn't get the help to be able to get the help now. And if I can be a part of that, that brings me so much gratitude and joy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bums in my area love me because I stay giving them my fucking money all the time. Here you go, buddy. They take my food. I give everything out. But it's a feeling that it's just such a rewarding thing to be able to know I just made a difference in that person's life today. Because for many years, I was waiting for that. For something to come in, or for someone to come in and make a difference in mine. And when my wife came in there, that's when it happened. That's when it happened. And, you know, in the last video we made, I believe I said I'm a rich man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it again. I'm a filthy rich man.
Amen.
Okay? It's my life.
That's what you need, man. You got to find that solid support system like you have. Somebody who's willing to work through every single craziness and prep to what you were going through after the PAM, after the shoulder surgery. I'm going to stick by you and just fucking say, you know what? I don't care what we're going through hell together.
She made it seem easy. She really did. She made it seem easy, man. All right, we got to clean your stuff now. Oh. I'm ready to fucking start crying. And she just has a smile.
You said you put it through the the shower curtain.
Yeah,
oh,
I remember a lot of grueling days like that. And you know how it's amazing how she just stepped up. She just stepped up to the table, man, and the things that happened and the words that we shared, and it's just things that I would never forget, man. And I believe, you know, when you find somebody like that that's willing, and that, you know, if you need a fucking kidney, she gonna give it to you. It's just without a doubt. You know, it's just not something. All right, well, I guess I got this one over here. That's
right.
If you just want it. It's
it'll help me
okay. I
lose
didn't
weight.
need this one.
Right or left, which is your preference?
And it's as simple as that, man. But again, it took a lot of work. It took a whole lot of fucking work for us to get to the level that we're at. But I think one of the biggest piece of why that happened is because walking away from one another was never an option. It's never an option. You know, the more options you have, the more you exercise.
Loyalty.
That's it, man. It's just not gonna happen. And when I said to death do us part, I sincerely meant that. You know, when they said that, I really believed in that. And it feels good to say it. It feels honorable to say it. And I wish everybody can feel what I feel.
Me too.
Yes, I gotta find one of those too.
That's all it is,
my
man.
girlfriend
And you will.
sitting in the rage.
And you will. And when you do, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. It's something very, very different. You can date 50.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be that one.
Yeah.
You're just gonna know.
Step up your game.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm single, so it don't matter to me. I'm good. But yes, thank you for
That's
coming
it.
in, man.
My pleasure.
I'm gonna have
Mark,
John.
happy to have you.
I'm gonna have John kick this outro.
Yes, my bro
So,
John.
this has been the 10th episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, your overwhelming support. You know we appreciate it, and we're humbled more than you guys can possibly imagine. Until next time, episode 11, this has been another episode of The Voice
And Rizzles.
And the Bronx bad boy.
Oh, that's my man.
signing off.
Peace.